implementation and finally going live. So how much time did it take for you to get this thing done?
Let me try part one of it. I think firstly, great timing for this event because we are going live fully all India this month in one of our businesses, and like in everything you go step by step. If I'm not mistaken, I think we started our conversations over the last 6 months. But the bulk of the work has happened in the last 3 to 4 months where, right from the start. And I think from our lens, the reason for taking the initial investment was to, not so much the implementation, very often that's the easier part, but making sure okay, this is not just an opportunity for us to simply say, let us change our loan origination system or let us do our front end differently. It's a great opportunity for us to say, थोड़ा re-engineer करते हैं as far as the customer experience is concerned, right from the time whether you are a new customer wanting to become one with us as a loan originator, or you're an existing customer that we can serve you better. So this is touching all of these points.
And what were the challenges that you faced? Because people resist change, and then there's the job market also. Some people will be willing to learn, upskill themselves, but some may not. So how does it affect the workforce? Did you have to lay off some people, and were they scared of this AI thing? And how did they react to it when they first came to know about it? How many adopted it, and what were the challenges that you really faced in getting it?
So again, staying with that, thankfully we have, part one of the problem statement jo aap keh rahe ho, that's not an issue, because this is not about this is the promise of this is not about we can do without you. The promise is we can take a lot of the needless work that you do. So I'll give you a couple of examples where this helps, and it's still work in progress. So everything needs a little between 4 screens. So it will take you, let's say, if it takes you an hour to go, to complete an application, just all of the screens. We should now take 15 minutes or thereabouts. We should basically be able to cut it by 1/4. And it's your personal labor that's going to go down. So in summary, I think we have actually a lot of optimism, people. The greater challenge is for us. That's why as a team, we're always chewing the brains of the teams at Salesforce and Deloitte saying, hurry up, please, jaldi karo, can we do it faster? I think the anticipation is we can make lives much easier. That said, like every system, it needs for us as management, and it's a lesson, I guess, in anyone executing anything large at a time, where why we are doing it is clear to everyone. Goals are measurable, that every month we should see progress. And I think at the heart of it, that assurance that this is to enhance your productivity. And as we grow, you should be able to do more with less as a person. And last but not least, it is an important move forward. So, make the adjustment.
It's a thing that the time has come about the technology. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I just wanted to add on to this question, and I know this is a question that frequently comes. Is AI coming for your job? Okay, it's a question that frequently comes, and I think we need to address the elephant in the room in respect of that. First and foremost, let me tell you, AI is a blessing for a country like India, because India has a very large population, and you cannot give the services that our citizens deserve if you don't use technology. You just cannot give it. Look at the kind of pedagogy that it goes on in the village schools. Do they have the right kind of stuff to study? Look at the kind of health services that is available in remote areas. Are you able to give the right kind of health services without technology? Look at even financial inclusion, like he said. 14 years from before Jan Dhan Yojana, I know how much hard we tried to bring about financial inclusion. It wasn't possible till technology came and made it possible. It's separate that Jan Dhan Yojana was run like a project, monitored like a project, so we could get it done in as less as seven months. That's a separate issue. But if the enablers of technology had not been there, no way we could have done. The main enabler of a bank account is what? It's know your customer, KYC. I need to know that you are you. that Arundhati Bhattacharya is only me, not another Arundhati Bhattacharya, not an A Bhattacharya, not a Arundhati B, it is only me. And how do you do that? With biometrics, because those cannot be replicated. So the fact that we are able to establish who you are is what enabled us to open all of those banking accounts, okay? Once the bank account opens, what happens? You also put in other systems in order to enable digital payments. So the fellow who's a panwala at the corner, he has a QR code. You take a pan, you pay with the QR code, don't need to use cash. What happens to that? That panwala is now able to establish that he's making 10,000 a month. The moment he's able to establish that, because this money is flowing to his bank account, some NBFC or bank becomes interested in giving him a loan, which he was in any case taking, but from somebody who was charging a usurious rate of interest. So his margin was going towards paying interest. Instead of that, he gets it from the organized system at a much lower interest rate. An interest rate can be as much as 120% or 360% also. It can be tremendously high. Okay, on a daily basis you give interest. Here you are getting it at 6, 7, 8%. What happens then? His margin remains with him. He is able to make his shop bigger. He is able to help his son set up another shop. So actually speaking, the standards of living go up. So was this technology a bad thing or a good thing? Did it create more jobs or did it create less jobs? There are so many unfulfilled requirements that we have. We cannot fulfill those requirements if we don't use technology. So the nature of jobs will change. Like he said, horses were being bred in order to draw carts. Today, horses are being bred in order to teach people riding. And riding, by the way, is one of the best exercises that you can have. The first time if you have ever ridden a horse, you'll pain in places you didn't know exist. Okay, so it's really exercising you if you go for that. So that horses are being trained for that. Horses are being trained for entertainment, for races, for becoming pets, for various things. Okay, so the jobs also change. The nature of the jobs change. When you bring in technology, you unlock efficiency, you unlock unmet demands. Those demands then go on to create jobs. So there is no doubt of it that the nature of jobs will change. Will there be less jobs? I don't believe so. Will our standards of living go down? I don't believe so. Every single industrial revolution has posed the same question. When actually the first train charted across the horizon for people said all our jobs are gone. Okay? Has it really gone? It hasn't gone. In every which way it has improved. Every way that you think possible, it's much, much better. There was a time, by the way, in State Bank of India, and I was in foreign department then, when we used to reconcile what is called master accounts and vostro accounts. These are accounts that are created for currencies, okay? So I couldn't have a dollar account here. I have a dollar account, and the mirror of that is called a vostro account, which I have over here. So I just reconcile the nominal entries that come in over there against the actual entries that are happening there. So I have a shadow thing to make sure that I'm getting everything. We used to have in foreign department something called a TIC 20 brigade. TIC 20 was, by the way, at that point of time a pesticide. But we used to call it that because they used to sit with 20 colored pencils. So Citibank red pencil. This is my account, this is their account, and I tick it off. Okay, so Bank of America, blue pencil. Some other bank, Bank of Mitsubishi.